Welcome back to Be in Demand. I'm Laurie-Ann, your host. And today is a special speaker breakthrough session. This is where somebody who's on my email list or just in my audience that is following me on social media raises their hand and says, I would love a speaker breakthrough session. So these aren't clients of mine. And if you would like to book your own speaker breakthrough session, you can either head on down to the show notes or stick around to the end. And today we have Susan Larkin. Susan, welcome, welcome.
Thank you. I'm thrilled to be here.
So, Susan, just could you high level give the audience, the people who are listening in on our coaching call,
Mhm.
a little bit about who you are, what you do, who you help?
Okay. So I am a life coach and alcohol freedom coach. I help women in midlife and beyond change their drinking, explore their drinking.
Mm.
A lot of times, women in midlife are finding that the alcohol is just not serving them or not hitting the same. They have one or two glasses and they really feel like garbage the next day. And just then being able to make a informed choice about how they want to have alcohol in their lives.
Fantastic. And you have a podcast, don't you?
Yes.
Yes, you do. One that I really like. Okay, let's just get on to all about you. What would you like coaching on?
Well, what I've noticed from doing my podcast is that when I'm speaking, I can go down rabbit trails with my stories and also my vocal cadence I've noticed, and this is what I've also noticed in editing because I edit my own podcast, is I tend to drop the ends of my sentences and they go down like that, like kind of at the end, like just like that. And yeah, so I'd like to work on some of those vocal techniques or and how to I remember hearing you speak on your podcast about speaking in a way that is inviting, that invites the listener
Mhm.
in. And I would like to hear more about that and learn how to
Okay.
do that.
So when you feel like your voice is going down towards the end of sentences, what's the what's your interpretation of that? What do you think that means?
What do I think it means?
Yeah.
I guess I'm ending that thought. So maybe
Mm.
my thoughts are going down and like I'm ending the thought or
And how do you think that's being perceived? Like, why do you think it's a problem?
yeah. Um sound doesn't sound good, I think. When I'm editing, I kind of go, "Oh, I don't like how that sounds." I also think it's well, if it's going down, it could be a little bit of a downer, you know? I mean, I guess it's the opposite of like asking questions, having it go up at the end. I remember
Mhm.
hearing an episode of yours about that, where it can sound like, I'm a podcaster, you know? It's like, are you or not? You know?
Yeah, it sounds like you're asking a question.
It's kind of the opposite of that. And so maybe it's a downer, you know?
Yeah. So one of the things that I've noticed, and especially with working with corporate clients who want to get to that next level, and one of the gentlemen that I'm working with, we were role playing, which is the reason why I recorded that episode. We were just role playing, and then, like, again and again and again, and then we'd practiced a few times, and his voice went down when he made an ask.
Oh,
Yeah, it was really fascinating, and the problem with that was just, at me as the coach, like, I studied voice all last year, and so I'm really sensitive to this, and I was just like, "Ooh, what happened?" You were at the level, and so when your voice drops down, it's like a lack of confidence. That uncertainty comes through, and your audience can feel that,
yeah.
whether they realize it or not. They hear it, and especially with just an audio podcast, they hear your voice go down, it's just like, "Mm, I wonder if she really knows what she's talking about.
Yeah.
Is she sure? Is she confident?" So being able to start strong, stay strong, and end strong.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you mentioned that you have some singing
Yes, I was a
experience.
singer. I was a musical theater major at UCLA, and I did many musicals. And so I know about vocal placement and in singing, in my singing voice. I'm not sure why I can't seem to apply that in my speaking voice.
Okay, when you sing, are you sitting
Mm.
or standing?
Standing. Yeah. So you have better
Mm,
support with my diaphragm. I know about diaphragmatic
I wonder if you
breathing.
just need to stand while you're recording your podcast until your voice gets this new muscle memory
Yeah. Okay.
of starting strong and staying strong, ending strong.
That's a great idea. Yeah. I mean, I could stand up right now, but I have a standing desk, but I do have a standing desk, so I could work out I don't, my mic would get all messed up right now, but yeah. Okay. So that's
Okay.
something. And it's hard because when you're recording a podcast, you want to be thinking about what you're saying. You don't want to have to be thinking about, now I'm trying not to, about how you're saying it. Like there's a lot that goes into it.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah,
when you're doing a sales calls for new clients,
same.
are you constantly thinking about like what you're going to say next, or are you being fully present?
Yes. Right. You want to be fully present. So I want this to be an automatic. See, I almost went down again. An automatic thing. So I don't have to think about it because I want to be there with the client in the sales call or even on a coaching call.
Right. So to get yourself to stop worrying about what I'm going to say next, be fully present in the moment. And remember, you're only talking to one person.
Yes.
Stop thinking about talking to the thousands. With my corporate clients who are walking into board meetings, it's like, you're not talking to everybody. Talk to one person. And then you shift your eye contact to somebody else and you're just talking to that person. When you're like any of the coaches that I work with who are speaking on stage, who are pitching their product in front of venture capitalists, speak to one person. And when you speak to one person, everybody feels like you are talking just to them. So,
Uh-huh.
what would happen if you just took on this attitude of, yeah, I'm recording this podcast for one person, whoever that person is? Maybe you put a picture of them, like on the other side of your laptop, your screen. Don't look at yourself if you find that distracting.
Yeah.
Practice just looking at the camera, or you take a piece of paper or some sticky notes with what you want to say, and you put them on the screen. This will also help with the previous question that you asked about rambling.
Yes. Stay
It's
on
like,
point.
yes, staying on point. Here's the point that I'm trying to make. Here's the story that I'm going to tell to back this up. Here's a statistic that I'm going to share that also backs this up. And here's my call to action. So you got like 4 stickies that you could put like right on top of your face
Yes.
until you build up the muscle memory.
Yeah.
Because I think you are so concerned about what you're going to say, how you're being perceived. Okay. You've got all these previous episodes and you've got all this evidence of, oh my God, look, I did that with my voice again. Clean slate,
Yeah.
new habit. We're building new muscle memory.
Okay. Sounds good. Sounds good. I mean, I think sometimes it's okay. I don't know. I like it to not sound too prescriptive. So I like telling stories. I think the stories, especially around my drinking or help other people be released from shame. And
Mhm.
when they can see themselves in my story and see, some of their behaviors. And so I think it is important for me to just kind of be free because sometimes free forming it or the rabbit trail may be where the gold is sometimes. Like I don't even realize it when I'm planning it. And then that's like, ooh, that was really good. And I didn't even plan it. So there is that a little bit of
Well,
that.
here's what's interesting that you say I go down the rabbit holes and I ramble. And now you're telling me, but I think sometimes going down the rabbit hole and telling all these cute little stories is actually good.
Yes.
So which one is it?
I think it's a little of both. I think I need to know when the rabbit hole is done. Or, I mean, I can do that in the editing, and I have literally edited a whole big, like, okay, we don't need to go that far into the story. Or what happens, and my husband he tells me this is one story turns into another story. So it's like one story. And so if I've told 3 stories, go in and pick the one that illustrates the point I'm trying to make. Or if
Mhm.
I did that 3rd story and I don't really need that one, delete it, or I'll get to the point where I just don't go there. I go, okay, that
Okay.
was the story, and that was the good one. Or if I, segued into another story, then okay, 2 stories. That's enough.
That's it. 2 stories. But I think if you have a little bit of structure, like you're
Yes.
not
Oh,
reading a
yeah.
script, but I think if you have a little bit of structure, it's gonna help you. It's kind of like and I've done episodes on the playground study that they've done, where
Mhm.
they literally had a playground, and they put a fence around it, and then they watched the children play. The interesting thing, when there's no fence, the kids only stay huddled around the pieces of equipment in the playground. But when there's a fence, it's like the kids know what the boundaries are and they play all in the space, all the way up to the fence. So, why I'm telling you about this study is that maybe if you have those sticky notes with the guide, basically, like this is just your plan, is going to help you be that fence so that you'll know, oh, I've just left the park.
Yes.
You come
Yes.
back in, come back on track,
Yes. Yeah.
stick to the point.
Mhm. Yeah.
That way also, especially with an audio podcast, your listeners will stay to the end and not feel like, I don't understand how this story relates.
Yeah.
And I'm at the grocery store or I'm at the gym or I'm at work. So, and then they go inside and then they just never come back to finish.
Right. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Good point.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you also mentioned something else earlier about using your podcast to get you more speaking events.
Yes.
'Cause that would be awesome. I mean, you like, here it is,
Yeah.
you've got a stage. And this is something that I share with a lot of podcasters, and I've actually did an entire training on it, and it's an episode. So it was a former speaker circle, and it's episode 309, and there's 7 different podcast episodes that I feel that podcasters who wanna be speaking on stages that you need to have. So you
Mhm.
don't have to have had them all already. Just like listen to the episode and plan on recording these types of episodes. I was sharing it on social media that there's one episode that I've recommended, and I haven't even done it myself, and that is to have somebody who's hired you in the past to speak, bring them on your podcast.
Oh.
Yeah. I also think because the person that I'm gonna bring onto my podcast is a corporate company who I have spoken both virtually and in person for, and which just made me think of employee assistance programs.
Yes.
Your talk would be so amazing for EA.
Yes, I have done that actually at Yale. We did a employee assistance
Mhm.
program. I was there just to tell the stories, and afterward, or my story, as sort of an illustration. And afterwards, the feedback was my story was the favorite part. Yeah.
Fantastic. Yeah. So I would encourage you to listen to that episode.
Okay.
Let's see what EA programs you could get in front of and be a part of and go from there.
Okay. That's a great avenue. Absolutely. Because I'm about, I have a coaching business, but my heart is really to elevate the information around it as well. I call myself an alcohol awareness advocate. I just named myself that. But I just want to get the awareness out there because even my husband is like, well, how come we didn't learn this in the DARE program? How come we didn't learn that alcohol is an addictive substance to everyone?
Yeah, so getting you out there to speak
Yeah.
more and more on this is going to grow your podcast, is going to grow your audience, and you're gonna get more speaking events from it too.
Yeah. Well, that would be awesome. Okay.
Did you get
Oh.
what you came here for?
I did. I did. Thank you. Thank
Fantastic.
you.
Can you
Yeah.
just share with the audience, 2 or 3 gold nuggets that you're walking away with?
Well, I can't wait to listen to episode 309. But, yeah, I love the fences analogy, that makes so much sense. I mean, I do usually have a structure, and maybe I can make a better structure for myself. Maybe having and maybe that'll give me some more confidence, I think, practice my speaking, use some of the things I know from my singing, get maybe even around where I'm placing my voice in my facial mask, practicing
Mhm.
standing and really supporting. Could be also I'm running out of breath at the end of the sentence. And it's
Could be. So,
rabble,
when you sing, you warm up your voice.
Yes.
Are you warming up your voice before you record a podcast? You're like, no.
No, no.
That was something else that I had thought of, is
Yeah.
warming up your voice. Episode 384 is about PSP. That's what I call it, Performance State Protocol. That's a great episode to listen to and start to train your nervous system that you are just about ready to record a podcast so that you show up in the version that your listeners need you to be.
Yes. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
New muscle memory.
New muscle memory. Yes.
All right. So,
Practice.
Susan, will you share with the audience where they can find you, learn from you, and follow you?
Yes. If you're intrigued, I'm mostly on Instagram at Drink Less with Susan, all one word. My coaching website is Susan Larkin, Larkin, coaching.com. And my podcast.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you being vulnerable, coming on the show, having some courage. And if you would like to book your very own speaker breakthrough session, the link is down below, or stick around. And until next week, be in demand. Are you tired of hearing crickets on social media? Wondering where to get seen by the right people? Or frustrated with the growth of your business? Then the Speaker Breakthrough Session is just for you. During this free 20-minute discovery call, I'll help you recognize where you're leaving money and opportunity on the table. You'll walk away with tips and a strategy to leverage speaking opportunities to get positioned as the expert, visible to the right people, and monetize your expertise. Book your call at speakandstandout.com/SBS for Speaker Breakthrough Session.